he was being interviewed. Where do you get your inspiration? He goes, it's everywhere. And he goes, I go to a basketball game, and I'm listening to the sneakers squeak on the ground or on the floor, and those are trumpet sounds to me. I hear the rhythms of it. I hear the pitches, or I hear the emotion, So, oh, okay, that's great. I can.
Welcome to In the Art Scene podcast, a show about the art world and people in it. This episode's guest is one of the featured artists at our upcoming event, Homegrown Art Beat, that happens on September 6th at the Union Hall Gallery in Golden Hills, San Diego. Homegrown Art Beat is an immersive, multidisciplinary art experience that will make you feel a part of the vibrant art scene of San Diego. Everywhere you turn, you will see works of art, hear music, and engage with artists, all while enjoying a glass of wine at the historic building in the heart of San Diego. If you want to learn more or come to the event, check out our page on the website sandiegoartdirectory.com, our programs Homegrown Art Beat 2025. Tickets are on sale now and are going fast. Hope to see you there. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In the Art Scene. And I have another special guest today, another San Diego local phenomenal musician. So we're going with musicians now. So we're having so
The
many.
scrape of the barrel.
No, we've been having so many visual artists just because that's my background. I'm a visual artist, and it's kind of natural for me to talk to people from that discipline. Musicians are phenomenal and interesting, but forgive me right from the get-go because I don't have enough vocabulary to talk about music, professionally. I always wish my husband was here co-hosting with me whenever we have musician guests. But enough about me. Let's talk about my guest. My guest today is Edmund Cosico, a very talented, absolutely phenomenal, local to San Diego, California, San Diego County. And his music is what's the like I'm forgetting my English. Entrancing? Is that the right word?
I like that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome, Edmund. Let's please introduce yourself and let's talk about you and your music.
Well, hi, my name is Edmund, and I play deep house music. So I'm not a DJ. I have my synthesizers, which I use live in my performances. You got drum machines, synthesizers, and samplers, and then I also play nylon-string guitar on top of that. So just kind of like a nice, easy vibe, kind of just groovy and mellow, and hopefully puts you in a good place.
Oh yeah, I can meditate to this music.
Oh,
That's amazing.
um,
So
wow.
let's talk a little bit. Let's just rewind back and let's talk about your background. Were you always a musician, and how did you come to this style of music? And then we will
Mhm.
get into technical details about that as well.
Okay, well, I did grow up playing piano and then guitar. So I learned how to like classical piano. And then as I got into my teens, I wanted to try rock out. So I got into guitar, and then kind of did that throughout uh, my younger part of life. And then I, well, I got a little distracted. I got into acting a little bit, and
Oh,
then
okay.
and then my focus kind of shifted. So I got into martial arts a little deeper, and I started teaching as well. So at some point in my life, I was able to really pursue these passions.
Okay, so let's pause for a second because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I wish my husband was here. So when we started this podcast, he actually was my co-host for like half the season. But
Uh-huh.
because we were mostly talking with visual artists, he was like, he felt a little lost. But let me
Mm.
tell you, he is a bass player
Mhm.
and a keyboard player
Oh,
and a martial artist professional. Like
wow.
30 years karate. Yes.
Not
So, but
wow.
he would really know the questions to ask. But
You should
how
have me back.
I will, yes. Maybe I'll carve
Well, if
some
this
time in
goes
his
well.
calendar.
Yeah. I don't want to put it to you. But I could totally geek out, about all
Oh
that
my God.
stuff.
That would be definitely longer than 1 hour
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you will
mm.
have a chance to meet him, by the way, at the event on September
Oh,
6th.
oh, awesome. Yeah, that would be
So
great.
for everybody who's listening, and I'll try to air this episode before the event for sure. On September 6th, San Diego Art Directory is having a big event in Golden Hill in San Diego at the Union Hall Gallery. And Edmund is one of the music performers that is going to be there opening the event. And my husband is playing with the band that will be closing the event. So you
Nice.
guys will have your chance to gig.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
All right. So, how did you get into acting? Like musical,
Um,
musical childhood. Great. I get it.
yeah.
But how did you get into acting?
Well, it started with my martial arts instructor,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Billy Borgia, and he took me in as a student, and then I became his assistant, and then as he was developing or using his, or as he was working his martial arts program, he was also developing these ideas for a children's movie, and uh, and so over as it became closer and as it got closer to being actually produced, he encouraged me, hey, do you want to do this, and I had it was a trip, like through the martial arts training, and I was a waiter at the time, uh like the martial arts really transformed me, like I had gotten these comic book artists that wanted to use me as a model for a Luke Skywalker
Oh
character,
wow. So
So
transformed you physically, you mean,
yeah,
or?
like you could just see it in the way I could walk or the way I walk, right? So I just became maybe slicker, like I or just had more grace or something, right? So yeah, so he encouraged me to get into acting because we were going to make this thing happen, right? And it ended up being a really cool children's safety video,
Okay.
and it went through so many uh, different versions, And so yeah, so then I started taking acting classes to prepare for that, and then after that project, just kind of stuff, well, I got an agent, this and that. And so I ended up really focusing on acting and then the martial arts. And then as I got older, and my body started to tell me that, well, you can't really move that way anymore.
Uh,
I was like, oh, okay, so we'll let go of martial arts a little bit. And I was able to put more focus in the music, and that's where and then from there I was, well, before I was doing a lot of like singer-songwriter
mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm.
um, type of music. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to sing anymore. And I can't write. I can't write songs, or my lyrics aren't great, but I love music. So I was like, okay, let me just get into instrumentals and orchestrations and stuff. So I had studied that in school. So I just, went to my computer and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
dialing in stuff. And then I discovered electronic music again. And that was just like, the sound design is so fun to get into. I was thinking like, like if you're a painter or you're a sculptor, you have your tools, and then the way I picked up about painting, the assistants, they have to make the paints for the painter because the painter doesn't do that anymore, right? But you have your colors that you like, and you have your your brushes, and you create all that stuff. Well, before you could buy it, right? You had to make all that stuff yourself. And and for me to get into sound design, where I create a snare drum, or I create the sound of or a bass, a bass instrument, or a piano type of sound, and just to be able to, like really hone in on the little parts of what the sound, what's in the sound. Is it a percussive, or is it a ooh, like a violin or something,
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
you can play with all those,
Oh,
all those aspects.
oh, this is
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so you can, and you can play with that, right? So that just became like, oh, I need to know this, and so I'm watching these guys on YouTube, and there's this one guy, Andrew Huang, who's a big influencer, and he would get together with other producers, and they would take a sound sample, and then the direction was to make a piece of music with just a sound, and or with the sound, and see what everybody does. So this one that I saw, uh, all the other guys took the sound, and let's say it was the sound of a door creaking closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a with a with that click at the end. Everybody used that as part of the song. Uh, it was like maybe a percussive thing, or they
Uh-huh.
stretched it and they made it into a whoa weird
Yeah,
sound.
yeah, yeah.
Andrew Wong's like, oh, you know what? I misunderstood my own assignment, but he took that sound and made all the instruments out of that sound.
Oh, wow.
So that click, the click of the door, he pitched it down. So now it's not,
Uh-huh.
instead of like this, it's like boom,
Uh-huh.
and then shaped it, put
So
some filters on
he
it.
dissected the
Yeah,
sample into like
yeah,
little.
like surgically,
Wow.
right? And then now that click of the door is now boom, 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 right?
Uh-huh.
And then let's say the door is creaking, it goes. Well, some of that is notes, So
Uh-huh.
he takes that little thing, and he stretches it, combines it, and blah blah blah. Now it's like a violin type of sound.
Wow.
So he was, and so he made, yeah, out of this one little sound, this a full a full techno song. And then I was just like, oh my god, in just one little sound, you've got like an
Wow.
orchestra of that. All you got to do is dissect it, break it down, and flip it around, turn it upside down, make it backwards, and some filters, and then you can create, you know not that
Oh,
I'm there yet, but it's fun to mess around and, and play with. And then you can do it on your synthesizers and take it out, to play in front of other people. And it's just so, yeah, it's been really interesting getting into that. And then um yeah. And then I was
wow.
like, well, huh?
I had no, I mean, this, the way you were describing it, it makes a lot of sense, but because I come from the visual background, like to me, this is like, like, we have the five senses, right?
Yeah.
So I know pretty much how to take, all the other four senses, like the vision, the taste, the
Uh-huh.
smell, and kind of like identify what comes, what elements go into it. With Audible, I
Hmm.
like I can hear. I mean, I can probably hear when like there's something wrong in the melody, like there's a little bit of
Uh-huh.
a dissonance or something, but
Hmm.
I would never ever be able to identify the elements and details. And this is like this is phenomenal. I mean, this is absolutely interesting. It's like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. Again, it's like I just got, well, did study this in college, but it didn't really click. But then this time around, is, yeah, it was like being able to take a microscope and just, examine everything, right? And then what's crazy is another thing is like I had this cousin a few years ago for his birthday. He wanted to do the Bob Ross, the
Uh-huh.
painter
Uh-huh.
on PBS.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
wanted to do that. He's like, let's this is what I want. I want to paint, I want to watch the guy and we paint it, with him. I'm like, all right. So I got all the materials and and I used to watch him as a kid, but I never painted along with it, right? So this time we're doing it. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, to make a mountain thing and a mountain scene. And so we're done, we do that. We each had a really good time. But then, I'm driving around and the sun is setting and the clouds are turning colors. I'm like, oh my God, I know how to paint. I know what Bob Ross would do, and so everything becomes, like everything was becoming a Bob Ross painting, and like, oh, everything is brushstroke. Everything is a mix of, colors and stuff. And my brother is an artist, so he'll tell me how you can um, accentuate one color with another color, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to know the color wheel. You just can't
Mm-hmm.
put this and this. You have to, and then I think it must become mathematical at a certain sense, right? Because the different grades of the blue that whatever is allowed to mix with this
Uh,
kind of
it
gold.
I think it comes intuitive for some people, and for the
Mm,
others, it's really, yeah, it is really scientific approach,
yeah.
which I think both have, place in the world, and being
Hmm.
used, magnificently. Oh my God,
Yes.
where's my English today?
It's all in your it's painting. It's where it is. That's how I don't know.
Oh, that's great. So this is how you write your music. That's how you approach it, or
Yeah. Well, I've learned how to learn, right? So I remember. Do you know who Wynton Marsalis is? He's a
I
trumpet player.
I don't. My husband probably would. I mean, a
Okay.
lot of the
So
names that you were dropping, I think he would probably pick up on.
okay.
Like, oh yeah, yeah, I
So
watched the same guy on YouTube.
yeah. So he's top tier, and
Uh-huh.
he's been around since the '90s, being a leader in the trumpet. And he was being interviewed. Where do you get your inspiration? He goes, it's everywhere. And he goes, I go to a basketball game, and I'm listening to the sneakers squeak on the ground or on the floor, and those are trumpet sounds to me. I hear the rhythms of it. I hear the pitches, and or I hear the emotion, So, oh, okay, that's great. I can I can I can use that. I can assimilate that. And there's this one time. Do you know what a daiko is? The Japanese drum. Those big
Mm-hmm.
drums. They have those
Mm-hmm.
sticks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in there, right? So I had built one. I wanted one ever since college, and uh, I found on YouTube how to make one out of a wine barrel. So I was able to go to one of the local wineries, and I got a nice one for really cheap, and I built it. And so now it's done, right? And I'm like, okay, I have no, I need to practice. I'm practicing. How do I write music that I've only heard a few times, only seen once or twice? I know what I like, right? So I'm just listening, and it was raining, so the garage is open. The drums in the garage, just trying to, whatever stage that I'm at with working on it, and the drop where it's coming off the gutter
Mm-hmm.
into a puddle is after the rain. So it was a steady like this. And then I heard another puddle that would, something like that. And then, so when I got into the rhythm, I was okay. I recorded it, went upstairs and started recording stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this is how I can assimilate that kind of lesson, you know. So I just feel like it's everywhere, you know. When you're making music, all you need to do is listen to it and then, you know, put it down, put it on tape or paper or, you know, on your camera. And even
That,
if it doesn't translate well, whatever comes out, that's your part of it, you know. So
that's fascinating. What was the weirdest sound that you used as an inspiration?
oh, you should have told me that one last night so I could think about it. 'Cause
I'm sorry, I just came up with
hmm.
it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I like putting my guests on the spot, you know.
yeah. Well, all right, this is what I'll do. If I can't think of anything, I'm definitely gonna make something up, but I might have to
Okay.
like stall for a moment. But
Okay.
what do you mean?
So you take this inspiration. Let's say you hear the drops in the puddles, and there are
Uh-huh.
multiple puddles, and you're making up a rhythm in your mind, and you're recording it or not recording it. Then that what happens? That then how do you process it?
Oh, well, then I take it to my gear, right? So, do you listen to Daft Punk? Do you know
Yeah,
those guys?
sometimes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
They are
uh
really creative, yeah.
yeah, and it's so what on one of their albums, they got this guy, his name is Giorgio Morder, something like that. And he back in the 70s was the electronic musician OG, right? Like he did the bass line for a Donna Summer song, one of the big ones. So the beginning of the song on one of their albums is like a 1 or 2 minute monologue from Giorgio, uh, pretty much describing how he got into it as a kid, playing clubs, sleeping in his car, because it was so late, you know, and then when he got his first uh, record contract and he first song, he goes, well, all I know is it had to start with a beat, and then all of a sudden, boom. Like so, it was really cool to transition in that. But so yeah, you know, like I'll start with a beat so I can get my bearings. Like I think, you know, if you talk to any musician, everyone's going to have their own way, right? So maybe they start with the rhythm first, or maybe they have a melody first. Like, oh, I want to turn that into a song, or wherever the idea comes from. And I think, you know, I don't think anybody is stuck to one way of doing it because I know I will come up with a chord progression on a piano and be, oh, okay, now let me get that kick drum going, you know. So, but yeah, so you have the different aspects. You have your rhythm and then your melody, and so either way you want. That's like that's the basics of the music. You know, that's where you start from. So yeah, and then uh, I'm still learning about these different genres of music. So uh, a lot of what I've done is just try to copy how they get that sound. And then after a while, maybe I have my sets of sounds that I like, you know, I'll just go back to that. But man, there are a few sounds that I'm trying to get that I haven't been able to really get just yet. At least on my synthesizers on the so that I can perform it. I think I can do it on the computer, but I don't want to be a computer or a DJ type. You know, I want to be able to make it here. So there's some sounds that I'm still trying to get. So, but basically, I just try to copy the guys that I like. Like, okay, I like that sound, come close to it, and then just put that into my music. You know.
Well, when you say copy, you're not copying the music. You're just you're extracting the
Uh,
sounds that
y- oh
or
yeah, I'm not even doing that. I'm trying to emulate, like I'm trying to recreate the sound that I hear on my gear, rather than because I can. Okay, so that's such a thing, right? Where with the sampling, it's and the
Mm-hmm.
copyright. So I just avoid all that and just do it myself. So one thing well, I've done some samplings where I try to experiment with it, but at least with my own original music, if I were going to have a piano sample, I rather than steal it or sample it from another piece of music, I'll just learn how to play it and then do that. I know. But yeah, otherwise I'm trying to steal the production ideas. Like, oh, I loved how they took the drums out and just let that one sample or the vocal
Mm-hmm.
thing here. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so that and then I come up with whatever, and then listen to it a few days later. Do I still like it or not? If not, just trash it and then just move on.
Well, you got to educate me a little bit here. So you say that you hear something, and then you take it to your gear, and then you make a
Uh,
difference between making something on your computer and on your
mhm.
synthesizer. I have no freaking idea how that works. So
Oh,
can you walk me through a little bit? What does that mean to create a sound with a synthesizer?
oh, okay. Well, um, let's say I want to create a. Let's say I want to create a drum sound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a percussive sound. So the attack of the initial, there are basically, well, there are four stages to a sound. There's the attack of it, the decay after the attack. Like if it does it drop down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
or does it keep going like a car horn,
Mm-hmm.
gong,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
No decay. And then there's just a sustain. Does it last long, dong, or does it go dong? Right? Does it
Mm-hmm.
drop?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those, and then there's the release, which is a little part more of, does it end abruptly, like oh, or does it go oh?
Mm-hmm.
And did you hear that breath part?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if I want to make that drum sound, that percussive sound, the attack has to be short. Like it doesn't take a long time to hit the loud part. If it's if this is time, if
Mm-hmm.
it, and it's abrupt, the sound is up, and then that's a percussive sound. If it's a slope over time, it goes right. It gets
Mm-hmm.
louder, or
Mm-hmm.
does it go right? So that's like a graph of time, and my arm is right. So
Very, very
is it working?
illustrative. Yes,
Okay.
very
So
illustrative. Yeah.
I think next time, then I need that whiteboard so I could just draw it, on the wall. But anyway, so let's say now it's a drum, so the sound drops. So over time, it's quiet, then all of a sudden, dang, and then it drops to here because it's just like that, really short. There's nothing left. So now it's just that. Bop. So let's say uh, the drum sound, we don't want it to end so quickly. We want to go boom, boom, right? So after that
Mm-hmm.
duh, there's a woo, and
Mm-hmm.
now woo lasts this long. So instead of us having a bop, now it's boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's cool. That's close to that kick sound that I like, but I don't like the pitch that it's at. Or I would like it to go doo, right? So now
Uh-huh.
now you take it, this graph is, you kind of put that away because something else is going now to the sound. The pitch of the sound is going from up here to down here. So you can control that drop. So it goes ooh, or make it shorter. Ooh, or ooh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So depending how you want your kick in your song, you might want that. Boom, boom, right? So then it's just like boom, 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 boom. So there's your kick. And then now you want the hi-hat. So what does that sound? Well, that one's high up, like a like a sizzle.
Uh-huh.
So you could do that. You could go to your frying pan and record that sizzle,
Uh-huh.
right?
Oh wow.
So let's now we got that sizzling sound happening. Now, what does the attack of the hi-hat sound? Is it abrupt like the snare, like, or it can slide into it like, right? So if you don't recognize that now, maybe next time you're here, you can hear that. It could be either or it could be like right? That's a little slow, but that kind of idea. So you can
Uh-huh.
play with the attack, right? Or right, all of a sudden it's out. So or like more like this, or
I just gotta I have to make this remark for everybody who is
right?
listening to us on the podcast platforms and not on YouTube. So you gotta have to go to YouTube and watch this video because the the hand gestures make it make a lot of sense. We're not
Oh
just
yeah.
I promise you, Ed is not just making weird sounds in the microphone. He is actually explaining a concept that you
There's a
have to.
visual thing
Yeah, there
happening.
is a visual thing happening.
Man, what if they don't have any well, I guess you wouldn't have any audio, like you couldn't, but you just saw me just doing this kind of stuff. But that's anyway, so that's how you could come up with your sounds, right? So and rhythm is you want to know rhythm more than you want to know melody. So back in high school, that was one of our first lessons in the music. So our teacher goes, which is more important, rhythm or melody? So, the class is divided. And he goes, the answer is rhythm. And he goes, if I do this melody, do you know what song I'm singing? And so he goes something like, da, 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 da. So he was doing like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but he just messed up the
Mm-hmm.
rhythm, so you don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the melody is. Or do you know what this one is? Cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha. Right? So all right, yeah, we know what that one is, right?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I will try to come up with my melodies or my chord progressions with that idea. Like it doesn't really matter first. Like if I'm coming from a spot where I don't know anything of what I want to do, then it's a feel. So the feel usually for me is some sort of rhythmic thing. Like if I want to sing, well, if I want to play a melody line on the guitar, do I want it to be fast? Do I want it to be kind of whimsical? And that gives you a good idea of the character. And then it's almost like it's connecting the dots. Once you have the dots laid out, then what's a good note to work it? So, and that can come naturally when you hear the background music. Like if you're strumming some guitar chords and you
Mm-hmm.
go da 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 da, and that makes sense there. And that's really the best way to make a melody. Is that if you can sing it, then you should be able to sing it too. And if you can sing it, then you walk away with that, and give me the money right now.
That's
So,
great. No, I feel like I'm getting a really really quality education right now,
oh
uh,
man,
because no, you have this way of explaining things to someone who is absolutely like I have no idea. I have no music vocabulary. So
Mhm.
you are making it so easy for me to understand. And all of a
Ah,
sudden it makes a lot of sense. And all of a sudden I apply the same principles on something that I'm doing, let's say in my art studio. I was like, oh yeah, that's the principles are kind of similar. I mean, the elements and the media is different, but the way you're creating something
yeah.
is like the creative process kind of comes from the same root almost. So thank you for that. I have a weird question for you though.
Okay.
So what kind of martial arts were you practicing?
Oh, so I was gonna say, there's so many, like if you have an art, whatever if you whatever your main art is, and then you start seeing how it applies to other things like cooking. Don't put too much salt,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or cook it at this temperature. Don't do it too, all those things. That's music. That's painting, right? That's building a house. That's construction. The foundation's got to be good. The materials got to be good. Don't get any, rotten vegetables. So with martial arts, it would be the same thing. So I don't even know what your question is, but let me just.
I think you're getting to it
Okay,
pretty much.
yeah, because I kind of forgot. But I would get in these things, like one. Oh, okay. One of the things that we would do in Subakdo, that was
Uh-huh.
what I studied down here in San Diego with Mr. Borgia and Master Mason in Oceanside. And one of the things, it was a Korean martial art, so it's very much like Taekwondo. The kicks were very similar, and the move, a lot of the moves are similar. I don't know what the difference. Well, I know what some of the difference are, but anyway, it's very. So we would have this drill where you have your techniques and you have combinations of techniques that you would do. Then they gave us the opportunity to, as an exercise, to go up and down the room, stringing together our own techniques. So in a way, you're play fighting against imaginary adversaries, but it would give us an opportunity to get the flow going of one technique into the next. And now, you know, the rhythm of that, the rhythm and the musicality of it, your high, medium, low with
Mm-hmm.
these strikes, a swinging one that throws off the timing. So you could really do that. Um, you could do that at that level. But if you're a musician, you can mess around and have fun with that. And then it can look like you're goofing off, but that's the drill. So there's no right or wrong, right? So you could do that, right? So that's where it was really cool to see these things um, with the philosophies of music and martial arts, right? And like when you have a guitar solo, do you ever see that in jazz where the guitar guy and then the trumpet guy might have a little duel, and
Uh-huh.
they the technical term is they might be trading fours or trading eights, a certain amount of time, one, two,
Mm-hmm.
three, four, to solo, and then maybe they up on one up each other. It's the same. It would be the same thing with martial arts when you're sparring or when you're fighting. If you're both doing this, nothing is being accomplished, but let him attack, and then it's my time to attack. If you can get that flow going, it looks cool, but okay, it looks cool and it looks like a nice performance, right? Rather than just kind of yeah, smash and grab. So you could do that with music, and that's uh
That is the answer to my
oh
question that I did
yeah,
not get to ask.
yeah, oh yeah. I, let me just say this real quick because there's so many cool things because I want to talk about what's going on too here in San Diego and North County where I'm from or coming from with Escondido and all. But okay, so I did Subakdo for a little while and I taught that for a little while. And then I moved up to LA and I got into kung fu, and we got to learn weapons there, and that was so cool. So one of the ones that I really enjoyed was the chain whip. So it's just chain,
Mm-hmm.
and you would do stuff like this, and I was like, oh man, what if you put fire on the end, right? So
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, okay, I would like to do that. And then I discovered Poi, the flow arts, and these guys, most maybe from Europe, that I was watching more. They would do these not juggling because it's tethered. The ball is
Mm-hmm.
tethered to a rope, right? But they would swing it around, and then sometimes these things were on fire. Sometimes they were glow in the dark LED type things, and they're swinging around. I go, oh my god, that's kung fu right there. I want
Yeah,
to
and they
do
do it on a
that.
long exposure or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so I got into that, and then I discovered the Polynesian fire knife dancing. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Okay, so
But
if you've ever,
I can imagine.
this is great. So if you've ever seen the cheerleaders
Uh-huh.
do the baton with
Uh-huh.
fire on the
Uh-huh.
baton, because I have a friend that did that. She told me she did fire. I'm like, oh, I never seen that. But a lot of the twirling is like the baton one. Some of it's a little different, but basically with the Polynesians, I forget which uh, uh, country it was, but the transition into manhood uh, for the kid was to demonstrate your prowess with your machete. And what they would do is on the ends of the machete, they would wrap towels soaked in oil and light them on fire. And then you twirl it like a baton. Over time, that sword has become a stick, right? So now they're twirling this stuff, throwing it in the air, spinning around, it's on fire, and all this stuff are kung fu techniques, So I'm like, oh my god! So I learned as much. I'm learning as much of that as I can. And there's a group down in that meets every Wednesday, the Wednesday Flow group, and they meet in one of three places, somewhere downtown San Diego, like maybe near Balboa Park. I'm not sure, but the other ones are like Vacation Isle, I think is off of the Ingram, that Mission Bay area,
Uh-huh.
and there's another spot next to that that they go to. So I went to a couple of those by the bay. It's so cool. Everybody there's like a dozen people inside the circle twirling their stuff, and then there's the people outside, their friends, and then there's a DJ that sets up. So you got this great image of the bay in the background. Um, I don't know if I caught them at dusk or not. I don't think so, but that must be really amazing too with the sun going up. But yeah, so they do that every Wednesday. I'm like, oh my god, I want to do this. I want to get involved with them, but I just haven't. The whole fire thing, I've tried it a few times and I've gotten my stuff caught on fire and I've done stupid things. I'm like, okay, I gotta really make sure that I know my stuff before I, go and do that. But yeah, that I
That's
can't
really
believe
cool.
it's out there that they can do that. So it's such a cool group to discover.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. And my question was that again that you already answered, and I didn't get
Uh,
to ask is how your martial arts practice informs your music. Uh,
mm,
and
I
and
would
and I,
I
and I think you described the whole thing, and then you added to it with the fire and kung fu
yeah.
and all the other things. But do you often make that connection, like that you're practicing different things, but it's kind of like you're practicing the same way of creating whatever you're creating,
I
whether
think
it's
so. Yeah, I think like well, if anything, I've learned again, like I've learned how to learn, right? So I didn't start off doing the music the deep house stuff with the guitar. But because I was just happy, like I have a couple synth groups that I want to talk about that I'm a part of. Hidden LFO down here in North County, and then
Hmm.
LA Synth Club up in LA, and we have these showcases uh, monthly or bi-monthly, and I cut my teeth working with those guys and having my stuff fail on me and having to what am I going to do? I can't go home and I got to do something. Or another one was this act before me was so awesome and so amazing, high energy, and uh, everybody. It was at a synth expo. Everyone's into it, and my stuff is mellow. And so I, I'm like, oh my god, these guys are amazing. These guys are amazing. And I turned to one of my friends, Mark Laidlaw. I go, dude, what do I do? He goes, take a long pause before you start. So I'm like, okay. So they kick butt, right? They're all done. And now they're close, they're packing their stuff up. People are still kind of hyped up, so I'm going, you guys were amazing, man. That's so cool. Do you need help? No, we're good. All right. Yeah, that was really good, man. Yeah, good stuff. And just trying to wait for that energy to settle a little bit before I turn on my Lawrence Welk, type five, my elevator music. So um yeah, so those guys have been great. Oh, and LA Synth Club, uh yeah, these guys, they do so many uh events. They're starting to really branch out. And that one was started by Hansilla. That's our code names. Like, it's so crazy though. Everybody, we all have code names um, except for a couple people. But uh, so I don't know what their real names are. Well, I know it's Lenny, right? But I don't know his last name. Um, but I had a code name, but I didn't like it, so I just went, all right, we'll just go back to my name and let's forget trying to like I really wanted a cool one.
What was your code
Okay,
name that you didn't like?
okay, Hermes the Psycho Pump, which was a tarot card that I got like 30 years ago. It stuck a couple times, and I was like, oh, let me just go back to it. And then I was like, this is really dumb, or not dumb, but it doesn't even fit my music. So I was like, well, everybody's got Humongous Frog. That's the guy, that's a name. And I thought that's a really cool name because it's not like it's almost like it wants to be badass, but then silly at the same time. So, you can, I don't know, I like that one. And then my cousin's got a cool tag name for his email stuff, mutated frequencies. I'm like, God, that's such a cool DJ namer,
We'll
So
we'll we'll come up with something for you.
I know I have to.
We'll come up with something.
I need some stuff. I need some ideas. But yeah, so I got lost. I forgot what we were talking about.
Well, that's actually very timely that you got lost because we're at the top of the hour.
Oh, we are. Oh,
Yes, we are.
hidden. Oh, wait. You know what? Hidden LFO down here, who I should have been
Okay.
talking about. We're doing a showcase Friday night or tomorrow night. It used to be an Aztec Brewery. It's somewhere else, some Guadalupe place. But these guys are great too. Like, just to have this community of other synthesizer geeks. This was run by BitLoss, Louis Cerruti, and Luke Webb. They put these events on, and it became such a great community for me. Somebody to geek out and talk about this stuff because I don't have any, none of my friends or family care about this stuff. So it was such a great opportunity to learn how to do these things. And it's happening here in San Diego, where you have all these groups like this one guy, Jeff Owsley, has his groups of musicians, and I think he's hosting events over at Humphreys Backstage, and I think Seaport Village. And yeah, it's so cool to run into you and be able to do your event and just become a part of this arts community.
Wow.
I feel very,
Which is vast in San Diego.
and I never
It's
realized that. So you are
yeah.
my introduction to an ambassador. And I really appreciate. Uh, I'm so glad I got to meet you and do this. But yeah, just to be, you're part of what's welcoming me into the arts community, and I'm really excited by it, and I love it, and I just, I want to serve, I want to help out and become
Well,
part of this,
thank you for saying that. I'm really excited to have you at the event, which
Oh yeah.
you guys will be able to find the information about the event on San Diego Art Directory.com under our programs. The event is called Homegrown Art Beat. And since we are at the top of the hour, so I know there's something going on tomorrow. Unfortunately, the podcast is not going on tomorrow,
Oh yeah.
but we
But
want
the energy's out there and
the
things are
energies out there,
happening
and we
whether
want
you were there or not.
people to be able to find you because you are a part of all kinds of cool things, and you have a presence. You have a website, you have an Instagram. So plug whatever you want to plug and spell out how people can find you online and follow you and visit the shows. And go ahead
Right now.
right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yes.
My website my website is edmundcosico.com. Uh, and I think that's the same for my Instagram as well. But if you don't, I'm not really prepared right now because I didn't think about, but I'm around and I'll be. You can find me. Oh, I played Adobe Hill Winery just last week, which is
Cool.
in Fallbrook, which is that's just an amazing place. So I'm getting my gigs lined up. So so hopefully it'll be easier to find me as time goes on.
Yeah, and also Edmund has really great samples of his music on the website, and he is available for the gigs. So you
Yes.
got yes, and we'll make sure to put all the links in the show notes. So if you're watching on YouTube, just go down in the description box, find Edmund, find our event on San Diego Art Directory, and also subscribe because the more followers we have, the more reactions we have to our episodes, the better and faster we grow, and that's a great help for us.
Yes.
And if you're not on YouTube, you can find the show notes on San Diego Artist Network.com under the podcast. Alrighty. Well, it was such a great pleasure, and I feel like we just scraped the surface. So I definitely gonna have you
Yeah.
back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was worried. It's like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I guess I was
Ah,
able to.
I never know what I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. It's exciting. Thank you so
Edmund,
much.
thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure, and I am so excited to see you in person at the event. And
Oh yes.
we'll see you again
That'd
in
be
the
great.
art
Meet your
scene.
husband. Okay, thank you, Galina.
Bye.